Shalom, shalom, Israel. Please bear with me. Bear with me. I gotta do some things in the background. I will be back. Let me just set up everything. Do some. I'm almost done, Israel. Just bear with me. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I even start, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahawah. The Most High Yahawah, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Akakwadash, Yahawah being the Most High God, and Yahawashi to the world, ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Salaki, where are we at? Oh no. I want to give double honors where honor is due to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who've been teaching this word, believing in this word, bringing forth 100% the Most High doctrine, to the best of their ability, regardless if you accept it or not, and the men underneath them that's teaching this word and believing in this word, and for the hopeful elect in other congregations and our congregations that's teaching this word and believing in this word, bringing forth the doctrine of Yahweh to the best of their ability. The Lord, or willing, the Most High increase you to endure and increase you on the knowledge and understanding so we can someday, one day, be on one accord. And for the wives and the single sisters that's believing in this word, trying to do the best to be virtuous and loving and silent wives to the best of their ability. And for the men and the women that's not in the ministry, Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on you, right? So this lesson is really inspired by the video you see right now. My title is Attend to the Sheep of Yahawashi. I watched this video at like 3 in the morning. The title says, "Don't forget you're a shepherd like Yahawashi." Just to encourage brothers, man. Soon as you pick up your sword, and the Lord increase you into teaching, studying, the Lord can somehow be using you as a shepherd in his ministry. And that's not a position or a role you want to take for granted, right? The first scripture I want to bring up is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, right? And Lord willing, this is straight to the point. Lord willing, this is edifying lesson, right? So 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But Yahweh said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, nor on the height of his stature, because I refused him. For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart. So even when you're looking for the right teacher to actually follow and listen, you shouldn't be looking at the outer appearance, how good the brother looked, right? The jewels or the outfit he's wearing, right? Because then how do you know he true just by the outfit he's wearing? You got to look at a man's inward appearance. Sometimes you might not be able to see it, but if the Lord working with you, you'll be able to see a man through the spirit by how he moves, let alone a single sister, especially if she's looking for a righteous man, or if a woman has a righteous man. You should be looking at your husband in the inward appearance. And that's the reason why we might treat people a certain way or cleave to them with knowledge, especially the men of the Lord. We look at a man's spirit, let alone most men is going to be occupied in the ministry, constantly doing videos, and the spirit might draw you to that person. And then you start being like, man, Lord, please pour that spirit that you got on that brother on me. It's because you looking at the inward appearance of this brother. He's studious, he's occupied in YAHAWASHI's ministry. So it's the same when you look at Sirach 27:3. All shepherds, Sirach 27:3. All shepherds is going to hold their face in the fear of the Lord. I bring this out fluently, but this is about attending to the sheep. And you can only attend to the sheep, Sirach 27:3, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of YAHAWASHI, his house shall soon be overthrown. So if to the people in my household, they should strive to let me do what I'm supposed to do as a man. My number one duty is to make sure I'm holding myself diligently in the fear of the Lord. So when you can be dealing with anxiety, stress, let alone a brother could be dealing with certain things. If I uphold myself diligently in the fear of the Lord and I care for my brothers and my sisters, let alone my family, I'm going to give them book, chapter, verse. This is the better way you can go about it. But if I'm not holding myself in the fears of the Lord, I would never think of give me book, chapter, verse. Show me that in the word. Let alone I might do it to my kids. I might do it to a family member. Why I separated from them. Because it might be certain strongholds they got going over there that I'm not strong enough. You know what I'm saying? And the shepherd is supposed to protect his sheep, let alone protect himself. Right. So if I'm falling and I know I can't get back up, every other sheep around me, let alone it could be a young man watching this video, a young teenage couple or whatever watching this video. And if I'm stumbling, the spirit is not going to make them cleave to the ministry. You know what I'm saying? They might not be watching the videos as much. And that's why what you do on your inner you, seeking out your own salvation, it all holds weight. Right? I'm going to go to St. John. Chapter 10, verse 2. Right? St. John chapter 10, verse 2. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. And the door is YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI is the door. Right? Let alone when you go to St. John chapter 6, verse 44, it shows you no man can come to me, come to YAHAWASHI, is red letters, except the Father which have sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. A lot of people be like, how do you know you've been ordained to teach? Oh, you already know through the Spirit if you're drawn to YAHAWASHI, let alone YAHAWASHI is the spirit of prophecy. So if you always thinking about teaching, bringing out the words of the Lord might be waking you up to be a prophet, to be a teacher of his word, to be a shepherd, to lead them in the direction that the Lord want them to be led. Right? We can go back to St. John, I believe the last chapter. I believe it's the last chapter. Yes, this is the last one. I went to chapter 20. So when you go down to verse 15, and this deals with Yahawashi speaking to Peter, verse 16 and 17, right? It's St. John chapter 21, verse 15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said unto Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. And he saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Right? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep. Right? And if we say we love Yahawashi, especially as men, right? And we have the ability to teach. You're good with words. You know precepts, right? You know the history in the scriptures. You should be feeding the flock, but we make excuses. I can't speak well. I'm not good at, hey, I think I'm not good at teaching, but it draws me to keep going because regardless, I can talk. I always feel like I could do better. But at the end of the day, it's a craving in me. I could be sleeping thinking about something. And I was thinking about this all last night. And look, I did this lesson on feeding the flock or being a shepherd because I was so in tune to the video I was watching. I was really in there. I'm like, wow, this is very inspirational. And so it caused me to wake up to do a lesson. And this is what, if the spirit will work, because it's flowing, wisdom is flowing, the spirit of the Lord will make you go. It won't make you sit there and be stuck and pout all damn day, right? A lot of us might feel, I don't like being on the camera, right? And for anybody, shoot, sometimes I might not like being on the camera, but it gives me confidence because I know the shit that I was doing back then. I like seeing my face on the camera because then I'd be like, I'm laughing at the old me because the old me, I wasn't doing none of this. You know what I'm saying? So it's an easy 1, 2, 3. It's no excuse. You could cut this off and nobody gonna see your face. Can y'all hear me? Let me turn this off. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. It's an easy 1, 2, 3. Let me see if y'all can still hear me. Oh yeah, y'all can still hear me. Can y'all hear me? Let me turn this. See? So it's no excuses. We just make excuses why we don't want to teach, but that just be the left-hand side. Any brother that don't have the confidence, this is for you. Any brother that either feel like he fell off. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying you can't make it. You probably can. If you wake up another day and that sun come up, you still have a chance. Now, it is some brothers that don't have the urge to teach. That's fine. But I'm talking to the brothers like if you see a brother fall off or a brother did something and you ready to correct him, ready to give them motivation and you going in the scriptures, or if somebody say, hey, the mark of the beast is in Daniel 7. The mark of the beast is the 4 beasts in Daniel 7, like General Howard said. You know what I'm saying? You speaking on something totally wrong. Maybe you shouldn't even be speaking, right? But if somebody is saying something like that and you ready to be like, yo, the mark of the beast is not Daniel chapter 7, the 4 beasts. No, that's not it. Soon as you try to correct them with those things, that should give you confirmation. The Lord is trying to get you to actually teach his word. You might not be prophecy. Maybe you is history. Maybe you are just a sincere milk. Maybe you are the character of a man and a woman or dealing with marriage. Everybody has a talent. I'm still trying to find mine. Sometimes somebody might say I'm good with history. Some people might say I'm just good with motivation. Somebody might just say I'm good with exhortations. I don't know. I'm just going to put my hands to the plow and constantly plow the snow. So just for you brothers, we need to be fed. Some of y'all brothers is good teachers and you could be feeding somebody that is a teacher. I'm a student, but I'm a teacher or whatever you want to call it. And I still get motivation by watching other brothers teach. And none of the precepts, the other brother in his video, he was bringing out other precepts. And he probably brought out some precepts I was bringing out, but his precepts was in a different lane. And look, this is how we could see, right? Because the men of the Lord, real men of the Lord is brothers, right? And somehow when we bring it out, it links. So let's see if we can go to the beginning of his video and see what the brother talking about.
Today we're going to get into, don't forget, you are a shepherd like YAHAWASHI. Shalom to the kings, man. Shalom to the gods. Alright? To the Alahayim, the lobby stones, my fellow immortals. Right? So yeah, today we're going to get into that, you know, and this is in response to the priest Pesha video that he's done, which is a re-upload from years ago. You know, I go into the archives every now and then and pull out some gems and some jewels, and it keeps us motivated, inspired, and sparks that spirit. Well, basically, you know, we're shepherds, just like YAHAWASHI. And one of the message that the brother was, the spirit that was on the brother that he was trying to hit on was, it's important to teach. It's important to feed and water the sheep. But you have to know the sheep as well. You have to know the sheep in the flock of the Lord. And there's no other way by knowing the flock.
Yo, and this is another way you know the sheep. And I already brought it out. 1 Samuel, from what I see, you know, the brother is already bringing out good points, but I have to land me off of what he's saying, right? And the number one way, of course, a lot of us might not know, but you don't want to be looking at a man's stature. It's about looking in the inward part of a man, how they move, you know, how they speak and how they think. The inward man, right? 1 Samuel 16:7 again. And I'll even read the NLT because I already read the KJV. It says, but Yahweh said to Samuel, don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. Yahweh doesn't see things the way you see them, just like Isaiah 55:6, right? Or verse 7. My ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts, right? People judge by outward appearance, but Yahweh looks at the heart, right? The Lord looks at the heart. That's how we're supposed to look for the look at the sheep, looking at the heart. Seeing if they're gonna give it to me. There we go. Isaiah chapter 55:7. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So is this like dealing with the sheep? Sheeps is going to be babes. They're not going to know a lot. Yes, they might know some of the milk, but they might not know it all. Because sometimes the milk go over your head. Sometimes the Genesis is a whole, it's bread, it's wisdom, and it's a whole bunch of meat in there, man. If you don't understand it and eat the meat and spit out the bones in Genesis, it's going to go over your head. And the sheep needs the shepherd to get the sense of these things. And guess what? Sheeps might turn into musicians, or they might turn into teachers. They might become prophets, because a lot of us were ushered into this thing. The Lord enabled us in this thing as sheep. And then he grew you up and he gave you talents. Like the Lord, like the 10 talents, right? When you look at it symbolic, the talents could mean it could go into money, but that's not really what it's going into. It's a parable. It's really going into the talents that the Lord gives you. And me and you and your mama and your pop, we're supposed to double those talents, right? You're supposed to double what the Lord gives you. And this is what the sheep's supposed to do. When you feeding the sheep, they supposed to double, right? Let's go to Matthew real quick. Matthew 25, and we'll start at 14. Right? The parable about the talents. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country who calls his own servants. And that man that's traveling from a far country would be symbolic to a Mashiach YAHAWASHI, who call his own servants. Who's the servants of the Lord? The prophets, the apostles, and the prophets, the real men of the Lord. and deliver unto them his goods. In the whole ministry, there's nothing wrong with women, but the whole ministry is always going to be symbolic towards the servants, towards the prophets of the Lord, because the shepherds is supposed to take care of the sheep, take care of the flock, let alone if you're a husband, like the brother said in another video, and in this video, the husband is the shepherd of his own household. Now, it's not saying I'm better than anybody, but I had to do something and humble myself, because I don't do it. I don't do it to my Akim, tell them to take their damn feet off and wash their feet, but I might wash their feet by lending $1, talking to a brother when he's dealing with some things. So one day, I could do that with my family, but I had to do something else. I had to see what YAHAWASHI would do. And YAHAWASHI washed all of his servants' feet. So I washed everybody in my house from the youngest to the oldest with frankincense and hot water, right? And my rag that I chose, but it was already clean, but it was the rag that I was supposed to use for me. But I washed their feet with it, right? And as a servant, we're supposed to serve our sheep. Keep teaching the word. You're serving the flock, right? We're supposed to drift them back. I don't know if y'all watch Toy Story, but the one lady, the shepherd lady, where she got the hook, that's what we supposed. The word is that hook to bring you back to YAHAWASHI Yahawashi. Soon as a sheep drifts off, do their own thing, regardless if it's female or male, right? Women shouldn't have too much freedom, either single or married, but all sheep shouldn't have too much freedom from this word. It's good to balance it out and have a good time, but how can you double your talents, right? I just had to make sure y'all know. And it says, and deliver unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 10 talents, into another 1. So to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So in the NLT, he gave 5 bags of silver, which we would know talents can be symbolic to money, to one, two bags of silver to another, and 1 bag of silver to the last, dividing it in proportion to their abilities, right? He then left on his trip. So his ability, right? Whatever your ability is with 5 talents, guess what? Come back and double it. If I have $10 and you invest in me, you hoping that we double back 20. So it's just like if I'm a shepherd and I'm feeding a flock and I'm doing sincere milk, or if I'm doing characteristics like dealing with word, endurance, assurance, I should be doubling those things constantly, because Monday through Friday, Sunday, every month, somebody can be dealing with something, they're losing confidence. Or I could be dealing with prophecies. So for me, the best way to double and make those prophecies stick on people, I'm going to add in the news. I'm going to go into the end time. I'm going to do this, right? If I open up the app, it's going to be even more slower. So we're just going to try to do this in time headlines, right? So your talent, let me see if this is it. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. I gotta save this. Okay, so your talent might be 10, and it might be dealing with prophecies. Prophecies is always on your mind, so you'll find yourself looking at the news to give people updates like, "Ooh, this is going on. Teacher threatens students who reject the LGBTQR ABC learning in UK class. If you refuse, that will be dealt with probably severely consequences, because you don't want to support the LGB 123. Guess what? We would do a lesson on that, right? And we can keep on going. 2 train cars are plunged into river after Wisconsin train derailment. Look, and this keep happening. This should keep happening. Something going on. So the spirit might have you, oh, I want to do this. And guess what? You have to double those talents, right? And that's you being occupied, which goes back to Luke. You see, it say right here, Luke the 19th chapter. And it's going to sum it up. I'm not going to stay on this. right? When you go to Luke 19:13, but I'm gonna start at from 11, right? The parable of money usage, and this goes back to the talents. It says, and as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. He said there before, a certain noble man, which would be Hamashiach YAHAWASHI, went into a far country to receive himself a kingdom. And the kingdom is Israel, which everybody says the new Jerusalem that's coming down. The new Jerusalem is Israel. It's not the place. It's not a freaking a mansion palace. No, it is the people. The people make the kingdom. And it says, and to return. And he called his 10 servants, right? His 10 apostles, his 10 prophets, right? Whoever is the servants of the Lord, and delivered them 10 pounds, right? And right here, it says 10 pounds of silver. But this is the 10 pounds of talent. This is 10 pounds of prophecy. This is 10 pounds of wisdom. This is 10 pounds of sincere milk. This is 10 pounds of dark sayings. And he said unto them, occupy till I come. So you're supposed to be occupied with every portion the Lord gives you. So when he comes back, he can see what you have done. What did he give you? Did you double it up? Right? St. John 12:26, if any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. So we got to serve YAHAWASHI as shepherds in order for the Lord to honor you, right? But the Lord, and it's amazing how the Lord scattered us abroad to 4 directions of the earth, so that the sheep can have prophets in the midst. In Switzerland, I believe, I know it's prophets over there. The UK is prophets over there, men of the Lord, right? France, Africa, Jamaica, the Caribbeans, Puerto Rico. The men of the Lord is 4 corners of the earth, and the sheep is there, let alone if they're not in those cities. The Lord gave us the unicorn, which is the so-called internet, right? I could do the Bluetooth. You could see me do StreamYard, right? We got TikTok, you got Facebook, where we can constantly give out edification. You got YouTube, you got Facebook, right? You got IG, where you can keep posting videos and they can go from all over the world. It's national, it's worldwide, right? And the shepherds is going to use the best tool to lead the sheep in the right direction, lead them back to the fold, right? Let's get 1 Samuel again, the 16th chapter, verse 8. This is 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter, verse 8. Then Jesse said to Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, neither have Yahweh chosen this. And Jesse said Shammah to pass by, and he said, neither have Yahweh chosen this. And you see, it could be so many men and so many men that can be passing in front of the Lord. He already see what we're doing, and it's not a lot of us that make the cut. That's why not everybody have the spirit of prophecies or the spirit to teach. They just want to know that they're Israelite, know the basic, get their family in order. But the Lord is he's touching spirits to get it in line to be like, hey, I need you to teach. I need you to teach. Every person is where they need to be. And you see it right here and now. Each person walked past, they wasn't that one to be anointed to be a leader, to lead. And this is all going to stem to what David is doing. It says in verse 10, again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Yahweh have not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. Right? So David is with the sheep. Abraham, sheep. Lot with the sheep. Right? When you go to, let's go to Genesis. Our forefathers were shepherds. They were always applying that pressure. They was carpenters, always doing some work, right? Genesis chapter 13, verse 8. It says, Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, no conflict between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we are brethren, right? So is the whole land before thee. Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. Hey, and this is how you know you're not building on another man's foundation, because Lot and Abraham were wealthy. They both had herds, they had servants, so they had to separate. One is it going to be in Canaan, and one is going to be like in freaking the plains of Sodom and Gomorrah, because we were wealthy and we had herds. Let alone he has to keep his sheep, I got to keep my sheep, right? So it says, so Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that is, was well watered everywhere, before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separate themselves the one from the other. And look how the Lord got us now separated amongst each other. I mean, of course, we might be in the same city teaching the word, but everybody's foundation is different. I know a lot of people like, oh, why is there so many different doctrines? The Lord is the one that did it. And it's not doctrine, it's the Lord's doctrine. And some people might get the Lord's doctrine missed. Stop saying his doctrine, her doctrine. It's not their doctrine, unless it's some feeble fake bullshit going on. Then yes, that's his doctrine. But if you reading out the scriptures, you're gonna make people believe this is the Lord's doctrine, right? Some people always want to come up with the new doctrine. If you always feel you came up with a new doctrine, you came up with it with yourself, and it wasn't YAHAWASHI. But every real servant yields to what the Lord says, and they prove all things with the scriptures. And then they tell somebody, and then through the Spirit, you're going to get it. And then if you don't get it, they'll just give a few more scriptures. And if you don't get it, you go to somebody else that have the understanding, and they break it down, and you might understand it. And guess what? Their understanding might be different than them. The Lord is going to bring you to the shepherd. That's why the scriptures say the sheep know my voice, right? So I want to go back to this St. John real quick, right? The sheep knows the Lord's voice. Right. But I'm gonna read this first. This is St. John chapter 17, because this is showing you shepherds educate, they feed the flock like we've seen in Peter, and we protect the sheep, right? That goes into laying yourself down like a living sacrifice for your sheep, right? And before I read that, just because I said that, I'm gonna have to bring this up. Romans 12:2. So like you, Romans 12:1. Hey, what the heck? Romans 12:1, it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, unto God, which is your reasonable service, right? So me and you supposed to lay our life down for YAHAWASHI, let alone you're going to lay yourself down for his sheep to bring them to the fold, right? This is 1 Samuel 17, verse 34 to 37. It says, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock and went out after him and smote him, right? And how I like this the story is how it is, but now we in this place, I look at our oppressors as this lion. And let alone when they keep going, it's talking about a lion and a bear. Our oppressors is these lion and this bear that's constantly trying to take the sheep out of the fold of the Lord. But it's all because that man, his heart is not onto the Lord. The Lord hardened that man's heart like he did Pharaoh. The Lord hardened that sister's heart just like he did Pharaoh. And the Lord will allow a lion or a bear to come to sweep you out of the herd. That's on a deeper level. Lord willing, you get it. It says, and took the lamb out of the flock and went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by the beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defied the armies of the living God. David said, moreover, Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he would deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and Yahweh be with thee. Now, I believe that this is real. A lot of us won't believe it, but you watch a movie, even if you're not saying that it's real, you can see that they can make a fake movie and make it look real. Now, for me, believing in YAHAWASHI is believing on him and not even believing on yourself, because without the Lord is no me. So I can't put me over the Lord's scripture when he can do all things. He played this out and we live in his story. So I can't take away, oh, this did not happen. You have men right now knocking out tall people, like just going to a bar and a tall nigga talking junk. He get knocked out. I've seen bodybuilders get knocked out by somebody smaller. And we talking about a young man who had confidence in YAHAWASHI and slew a giant who could be 9.5 feet tall with a damn rock. The Lord was the one that allowed that precision to happen, let alone the Lord allow him to be taken away out of the lion and the bear's paw. I believe the Lord can do that because the Lord put us in captivity. So it's the same way how I believe the Lord helped him with this lion and this bear. The Lord is going to help us with this lion and this bear. But the number one thing we got to do is constantly protect the sheep, feed the flock, and seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. David was a follower of YAHAWASHI. This is even more why he was anointed, let alone he was willing to fight for Israel just to kill a Philistine giant. When you have fear of YAHAWASHI, you don't fear what man can do to you, right? And I'm just showing the scripture because we got to work on it, because I know we humans, right? And I don't even want to fear my own self because the flesh is your flesh is so weak. It's so brittle. As soon as you get in the spirit, your flesh our normal us being conformed to this world they don't like the new you. You know what I'm saying? The new you is always thus saith the Lord. As soon as you get in the spirit, you're not in the flesh. But as soon as you give a time that you want to take a break from it, you start losing your strength. You start losing your shepherdhood. You stop becoming a damn sheep. Some of our sheep start looking like wolves, right? A lot of us sheep be on demon time, right? Matthew 10:28, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul, body, and hell. And this is why David had the confidence he had, because he feared YAHAWASHI. This is why he was anointed. The spirit was moving with him. And the spirit moved with us. And sometimes, yes, it goes. Sometimes we do slip up. But as the time is, you're going to get your ass back up. And every shepherd should always get up. Every shepherd. And if a woman have a man that looks like he is doing shepherd work, that woman is a prophetess. She is. And she should never be looking like a flimsy bag, right? And it don't always take for a man to make her look like a shiny diamond, because the Lord is yours too. So you got to be going to his words and get confirmation. You're good. You're great. Let alone the Lord gives you an attribute of a man that's in front of you, or an elder that you're watching, and be like, you know what? The Lord dealing with me because you have a shepherd in front of you. Even if you don't have a husband and it's a shepherd where you can get the words. I don't care if it's Sam or Asher, Yan Mayan, or Awan Gabar, or Elder Tahar, or a Naikwam. You watching these brothers, you have a shepherd in front of you. You should be confident because the Lord is enable you to hear his ministry. Before, you was watching women twerk, going to the bar, doing this and doing this bullshit, smoking that, smoking this, and shaking your ass. Or men, we were hopping from sheet to sheet and wasn't trying to wife no girl, not trying to dwell with them according to knowledge. And shepherds do fall off, but the real shepherds get their ass back up. And he that enter in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. So we supposed to enter in the door, which is drawn to Yahweh. That's what is drawn to Yahweh, YAHAWASHI, right? The Most High and his Son, who the world and he calls Jesus Christ. St. John 10:7. Then say Yahawashi unto them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. So Yahawashi is the door that opens and closes, open and close. So if you get out the spirit, the Lord closed that door. That don't mean it might be closed forever, but if you're not working on you, it will be shut forever. But if you constantly opening that door, constantly knocking, always through measure, thick and thin, it's going to always be open to you, right? This goes into Proverbs 3, right? A lot of us always got to, especially if you writing precepts down, you falling out, you don't feel like you're a shepherd no more. You always go back to your notes. Go to your notes, reread those again, get your inspiration again. Or if you can remember precepts, just go to the precepts that you remember and keep saying them, right? Proverbs 3:5. Trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. Stop doing your own thing. Follow the order of what the Lord wants, right? Be a teacher and stop acting like you're greater than your master, which I am a servant of the Lord. I'm not greater than Hamashiach Yahawashi. Hamashiach Yahawashi is not greater than Yahweh, but he's over his servants. As a man is over his servants. Now, you might have younger brothers that's serving underneath you, and you could be a captain like Yarmayan. He's over me. But in my household, I am the shepherd in my household, and I'm the shepherd for other people that might just always watching a video. Regardless if you watching somebody else's video, but you find yourself watching mine, you are considered a sheep, regardless. But in your own household, you are a sheep to whatever leader the Lord put in front of you. And especially the children and the wives, they should be yielding to their shepherd. No, look, I'm gonna tell you, be honest. Nobody is over your shepherd. So this is why I stay with the teachers that I'm going to stay on, because those is my number one shepherd. If I go somewhere else, I'm going to be learning a whole different doctrine, but understanding in prophecies, right? But in my household, majority of my household might watch me. I am their shepherd. So I am over a great-great-grandmother. I am over a cousin. I am over a father. I am over a mother. I am over your great-great-great-great-grandmother, because I am the head of my foundation. So I am the shepherd of my household. And my sheep is supposed to listen to me. If they keep drifting off, they are a disobedient sheep. And hey, guess what? All Israel becomes disobedient because we always want to do what we want. You know what? I want to be lazy today. I don't want to read. You know what? I ain't going to read tomorrow either or the next day. You know what? I'm not going to teach. That's a disobedient sheep. And guess what? You might fall from your role as a shepherd and you might go back down to being a sheep. And now you got to be retaught all over again. Verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct thy paths. So you're supposed to acknowledge you fucked up. It's times I fucked up. Look, a few weeks ago, I went and watched me a porn video. I fucked up. But I didn't fuck up how I used to do. I didn't seek into it like I normally do. I seen something, oh, get your mind right, then I got off of that mother sucker. But back then I was sinking that joint and do what I do. I didn't do what I do and sunk into it, but that don't mean I'm better than you. And I still know that stronghold is still there. But guess what I do? I get my ass back up. I talk about myself and I acknowledge you got to do better. You're a shepherd. Then at the end of the day, how can I tell somebody else what to do if I'm dealing with this and I'm not using what I'm a teacher? But guess what? If I use the treatment that I'm using, I'm able to tell somebody, hey, bro, don't do that. Do it this way because I was doing it. That helps. But what if I'm telling somebody to do this and I'm over here squeezing the turkey and I'm not even practicing what I'm saying? You would be a false shepherd in that moment. So you reevaluate yourself. Go back through the door of Yahawashi and ask him, yo, can you help me to do better? St. John 10:9. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved and shall go in and out and find pastures. We're going to find it on a greener side, a greener view in the bosom, in the wings, in the arms of YAHAWASHI. That's why his ways is right and our ways is unequal. Right? Let me get that. So like I'm over here typing faster than a damn rabbit. Lord willing, y'all can see this. Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 29. It says, yet saith the house of Israel, the way of Yahweh is not equal. O house of Israel, are not my ways equal? Are not your ways unequal? Right? Our ways is unequal. Why Yahweh ways is equal. Plain like a 1, 2, 3. Right? Let's actually get that in the blue letter because we can get precepts. 1829. So Ezekiel 1829. We're gonna read it again and then try to get some I'm gonna start at 27, Ezekiel 18 and 27. It says again, when the wicked man turn away from his wickedness that he have committed and doeth that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul. So if you do things that's lawful and right, basically righteousness, moving in faith, that's the whole thing in lawful and righteousness. Your soul will, you shall save your soul, because he considereth and turneth away from all his transgressions that he have committed. You turn away from him by being converted and being submissive to YAHAWASHI. He shall surely live and shall not die. Yet saith the house of Israel, right? Our nation says the way of Yahweh is not equal. Yes, women might feel because she's under a man that oh, this is so difficult. Oh, we got to do this for a man and a man. But guess what? The Lord is difficult, but the Lord is great and terrible. And we're even worse than the Lord. So like y'all got to try to get this word. Etymology. Etymology. Yeah, because I don't want to spell him wrong. So I'm gonna try to get this I don't know if this is gonna work. But a lot of us might say the ministry, a code, or it's always talking about controlling women. Next time I'm gonna have this joint downloaded, but you can always go and find out the women. The etymology for women means servant. Let alone the Lord tell you a lot of verse. What is men? The men of the Lord is servants. We're all servants. I'm a servant under YAHAWASHI, and a woman is a servant of a man. A lot of us might think that's unequal. You know, a lot of people in Israel say that this is unequal. Women got to do this and do that. Some of the men feel like it's unequal. I got to go to the highways and byways all the time and do sit downs. I don't think we got to do that. We just have our house a certain way. If you really want the kingdom, we won't complain. If you really, really want it, You just go, yo, I'm gonna strive as much. You know what? I'm gonna be a servant of my husband. You know what? I'm gonna be a servant of YAHAWASHI. If he give me the ability to teach, I'm gonna do it as much as I can. When I mess up, I'm gonna acknowledge it to the Lord and I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. Yes, sometimes I lose confidence, but I'm gonna get back to it and I'm gonna gain confidence. It's always get up, lay down. Always get up, lay down. Get up, lay down. And then if you're not laying down, you just keep getting up, keep getting up, keep striving, because the kingdom is longevity. It's because we're so stuck on being humans. We don't look past this. We don't look past a video game. We don't fucking look past a cell phone. I got 3 cell phones, 4 actually. We don't look past the cell phone, computer, freaking family. We don't even know what a real family is because we're so stuck on this place. We forgot what a shepherd is. Now, when a shepherd do try to say, hey, give me book, chapter, verse. Hey, let's look in the scriptures. Hey, let's go pray. Hey, you know what? You need to calm down. Or hey, yo, brother, you overthinking it. We don't care for shepherds because we're in a human zone. Real spirits is going to live by the spirit and walk in the spirit. Galatians 5:25. When you live with the spirit, you own to your mistakes. When you are living in the spirit, you're going to walk in the spirit. You're going to own to your mistakes. Sometimes you might not say it out loud. You might just sit there, you know what? I fucked up. Instead of being all cute as a man or a woman, you're going to own to your mistakes. Sometimes you might own to your mistake to somebody else that's not in this truth or somebody that is in this truth, just to get that spirit off you, just to let them know the zone that you're in. Nobody can stop you from the love of the Lord, but the only one that can is Yahweh and yourself. The biggest enemy we have besides Esau is yourself. All those other nations, but yourself. Verse 30 says, therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, saith Yahweh God. Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin. Guess what? When we fall, you supposed to be shamefaced of the shit you done, but don't stop the end on going. I might be so angry, oh, I want to stop caring for the Lord. The Lord don't say do that. You got to still care for your Lord. You know what you need to do? Just build up confidence, repent to the Lord. Confess the shit that you did and get back in there. That's the best thing about the Lord. You know, when you get in trouble by your father, he tapped that ass, right? But when you do wrong in this society, a man ain't really putting a woman on his lap and spanking her ass. Some men might do that. But now, since we're shepherds, you spank somebody's ass by give me book, chapter, verse. You do that with men, you do that with women, because we got to feel guilty when we fucked up. We got to feel guilty when we losing confidence, right? You don't want to lose confidence, right? You got to remember all the transgressions you did. Yeah, when we mess up, guess what? I'm pissed. I was pissed about my phone, but I had to calm down because it was either something in my mind that I was still angry or whatever was going on. I had to say, Lord, man, you over this phone, you over whatever I got, man. This is about the ministry. Call on YAHAWASHI. Said it like about 3-4 times. I put my phone on record and it didn't mess up again because the power of the name of the Lord is better than you running your damn mouth all day, right? Verse 31, it says, cast away from all your transgressions. It say, put all your rebellion behind you. The rebellion to the Lord, rebellion to your husband, kids. Throw away that rebellion that you have towards your parents. Shut up and sit down. Kids got to learn to learn is a time to play and a time to be serious. If you don't want to hear you want to hear the word, but you can't sit long, go to sleep. Take your ass to sleep. Right? But us as a whole nation, we have to put away the rebellion. Right? It says, whereby ye have transgressed and make you a new heart and a new spirit. For why will ye die, O house of Israel? So when you know you fucked up, and if I'm a teacher, I should be calling the name of the Lord to make me a new heart, a new mind, and a new spirit so I can get back on this thing, right? Bring our people back into the fold. It's a lot of shepherds out here that didn't wake up. I know it's a drug dealer smoking on that big exotic blunt. And all you doing is just getting high, looking stupid. The Lord waiting for you to come back and be that shepherd and guide some sheep. It's enough sheep for brothers to wake up. I ain't gonna lie to you. We still here. Let alone we waiting for the hopeful elect to get sealed. The hopeful elect didn't wake up yet. You know what? We got to go on overdrive. Brothers got to do more videos. Let alone brothers might land me off of another brother video just to make the lesson even more amazing, right? Going back to the brother video, right?
Flock and sheep of the Lord. And there's no other way by knowing the flock and sheep of the Lord by associating or communicating or fellowshipping with the flock of the Lord, right? And I'm going to read the scripture the brother posed, because ultimately YAHAWASHI, he's the grand shepherd. He's the chief shepherd. He's the ultimate example of how to be a shepherd, right? John 10:2, but he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Now going back to that, and this is why we have to get familiar with the customs of farming, of herding, of shepherding, of tilling the land, of a husbandman, which is a man that is a farmer or he tills the land. You have to get familiar with these things because the Bible uses a lot of that parabolic, symbolic talk, because a lot of the men back then was carpenters, farmers, husbandmen, and shepherds, right? So, and I'm gonna post the videos in the chat, so brothers can go check out some of the videos I've seen, and it inspires you through the Spirit, and it gives you a better understanding of what YAHAWASHI was trying to convey to us. Now going back to knowing the flock, the scriptures speak about not forsaking the assembly of the brethren, right? And like I said, the brother was trying to hit the nail on the head about the main job. Yes, you gotta make sure the sheep eats every day, and you gotta make sure that the sheep has good water, clean water every day. That's why YAHAWASHI told Peter, if you love me, feed my flock. Feed it with what? Not fucking soda and Doritos. No, we feeded them with the bread of life and the water of life, which is YAHAWASHI, which is the word, the Bible, right? And real quick, let me just do this real fast before I forget, because I'm forgetful. Excuse me. I'm gonna post these in the chat, and brothers that can check it out after the lesson, or to give you a point of reference of what shepherding looks like. Because a shepherd, he had to make sure that his sheep were healthy. He had to make sure that the sheep wasn't hurt or sick, right? He had to make sure nothing was caught in their hooves or their hooves wasn't infected, right? And this is a symbolic or parabolic to us, right? You gotta be able to know the brothers that you're dealing with, right? You're gonna be dealing with some more froward sheep. You're gonna be dealing with some more gentle sheep. And you gotta be able to get.
Yo, what make it even better for an attribute for the sheep is going to devour wisdom, because sheep is going to want to learn. Yeah, I can't put it in this one. I'll put it in this one. It won't let me get the regular KJV version. So I'm going to go to this website. Wow, that's so amazing. 2nd Ezra chapter 8. And I bring this out fluently because it's so important and it motivates me. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 1-4. This is for sheep. It says, he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. And I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou makest the earth, I mean, when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mound, whereof earth vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved, right? And this is why we want to grab the sheep as much as we can, feed them, give them something to drink. That's why Matthew 5 and 6, blessed is he that hunger and thirst for righteousness, and that's going to be the sheep. Let alone the shepherd. Who am I? The shepherd is not better than you, because a shepherd is a servant for the sheep, right? We're servants to YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI is the great shepherd who even died for his sheep, right? Verse 4 is the major point. It says, and I even read 5, it says, so answer I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding. That's you eating it. And devour wisdom. You're going to devour wisdom, the sheep. That means when I'm happy, I should devour wisdom. Excited, devour wisdom. I could be upset, devour wisdom. Now, you could be like, you could be angry and you're not to the point, but calm your ass down. The Lord should be the main one to get us back on track. People can party. Guess what? I get lit. I do my little hey, a little shoulder bob. That's about it. But I still think of book, chapter, verse. When I wake up, book, chapter, verse. I'm not better than nobody, but I'm doing it for me, because I tell you what I was doing. I was never doing what I'm doing right now. So I have a desire, and the Lord put it on me. You know what? This is I always had my attention on other things, especially basketball. When it get hot, that's my thing. But how I had my attention on that, being a fool, rolling up a blunt, I had my attention somewhere else. I wasn't reading. Telling these kids to read a book when they get home from school. I wasn't that guy. Even when I was in school, I wasn't reading. My foster mom used to always tell us to read. Nah, man, I ain't about to do that. Now I get older, I missed out. I wish I had a father that was in this truth telling me, read a book. Reading is the best superpower anybody can have, right? So a sheep, eat this food, eat this grass, right? Verse 5, it says, for thou hast agreed to give ear and are willing to prophesy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live, right? And if a sheep is giving ear to the word, guess what? You're going to be willing to prophesy. Not everybody, but most people that the Lord is going to put in this ministry is going to prophesy. There's no way around it. Let alone when you look at second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, when you look at all those 7 kids that get killed and die for the name of YAHAWASHI, those are sheeps. Those is real sheeps. And YAHAWASHI said he died for his real friends, right? Let me get that. St. John 15. I think 15, 13 or 15, 14. St. John, I'm going to start at verse 12. St. John 15 and 12, it says, this is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. And when you love somebody, you correct them, right? You pull them back where they at. Love is not a good, like a tingling feeling. You get that because we're in the flesh. But real love is action. If I know a truck is in the middle of the street, hey, get out the street. That is love. And it don't matter how I get, excuse my language for everybody that's watching. If you in the middle of the street and I say, hey, get out the street, you just might listen and get out the street. If I say, yo, get the fuck out there, you're going to still listen and hear it. Now, if you ignore it, you just ignore it. But love is an action. Somebody falling, hey, I got your back. Somebody keeps slipping, you come at them. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Then you give them script. And guess what? Scriptures is going to cut you. No man should be getting out a physical sword to kill his brother, to stab his brother because he freaking sinning, or you know what, he smoked him a big doobie blunt. Or this man going to the damn strip club for no apparent reason, and I'm supposed to go up and stab him? No, you get the scriptures and cut him. Right? It cut different, like it cut you like, you know what, I shouldn't be doing this shit. It's not acceptable. And guess what? Sheep is going to listen to the shepherd because they know his voice, right? That's what love is. Love is laying yourself down for your brothers and your sisters. Love is an action where you will fight nail to nail. You see what David did for the sheep. David was fighting a lion that most likely in that time either between 400 to 500 pounds. A bear, that was probably a grizzly bear. That's like 500 to 600 pounds. This is a young man fighting both of these big ass animals just for a little sheep. Man, Jake right now, you can have that sheep. That's how Jake will look at it. Lord, give me the faith to be like, hell no, I'm about to fight that lion and bear. We were moving in a different frequency with faith with the Lord, right? You even see David about to get corrected by Nathan because this man was plotting on Uriah's wife. Yes, and this is why Israel always need correction, right? Verse 13, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, right? That's the greatest love that any man can do when he lay down his life for his friends. You lay down your life for your sheep, make sure lions and bears is not eating them up, right? You lay yourself down that say somebody's shooting the house and you telling your whole family, get down, let's go all get in the basement. What if you just said, man, F these people, I ain't fighting somebody breaking this house. But when you do that, it's the action of love. 14, ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. So those boys, those men, right? When we go, let's go to it. I'm not gonna do it with y'all because this would take a very, 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 very long time. When you go to 2nd Maccabees, the 7th chapter, these is the real friends of the Lord. And there's many other prophets and apostles and other people that was friends of the Lord, but YAHAWASHI died for people like this that would do the will of his Father and strive for the truth until death. If you never read 2nd Maccabees chapter 7, I advise you should read it. You should read it. You know what? Let's read from verse 1 to verse 7, right? 2nd Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass also that the 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our father. A lot of us don't have that faith and that confidence to say, I'd rather die serving the Lord, right? I'd rather die following the ways of YAHAWASHI, of the laws that was given to my foreign fathers, to our fathers, and choose to have to be compelled to taste swine's flesh. Hell no. And a lot of us right now couldn't do that because you want your C4 broil, right? You want that baby back piggy rib. We're not ready to drop everything just for YAHAWASHI. This is why everybody can't make the cut, right? It says, then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and cut off the utmost part of his body, and the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Have any of y'all ever seen somebody get their tongue cut out? I will show you a video, but y'all probably not ready for that. Now we just gonna say that or this. Like, just imagine this. That and being in that situation, the first son about to get his tongue cut off, just like this. But not no damn Edomite. He was an Israelite. So imagine that. They about to put this lady is about to watch her first son get tortured. Not a spanking, not a whooping, get tortured. Tortured. Not a piercing. Cut off. literally cut off the tongue. You see that right there? Tongue cut off, not split, cut off. A lot of us could not fathom that, right? Tongue cut off. Wait, it said, cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost part of his body, and the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. So them cutting his body is like putting it in different parts. And imagine, say if it looked like this, but of course it was colored, like it was colored people, but depending on what tribe, most likely they could be Judah. Israel's different shades of brown. So you got all these people watching, the mother watching, all seven, not Salaki, not just one. The first one over here getting his tongue cut off and body split into different pieces, let alone the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. The last one was the youngest child she had to watch. And they all said, man, what did they say? We are ready to die. And we be complaining about the little things in our life. Your shit don't compare to half of the stuff your forefathers went through. You went through something too. Your forefathers that got in on this land, they went through something too. But have you seen your 7, 4, 3, 2 kids get tortured? You haven't seen that yet. So you don't know what that's about. But some people want to complain. I don't feel cute enough. Oh, I'm chubby, or oh, they don't like. Guess what? Work out. You know, a lot of us might miss a loved one or an ex. Get over it. Right? You get in this ministry for real family who's going to get in the kingdom with you. So for the sheep that's out there, you out there. And we got to, the shepherds, whoever you are, man, we got to go hard for YAHAWASHI. For the sheep's sake. They're through the spirit, they getting tortured out here. Verse 5, it says, now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. So he was still alive, and they said, man, bring that man to a pan so he could be fried. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another. They encouraged one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, Yahweh God looketh upon us, in truth have comfort in us. So, and in truth, the Lord comfort them. As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, he shall be comfort in his servants. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, so they pulled the skin of his head with the hair. So that's they grabbing his hair and pulling it, and the skin is coming with it. They asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? Why they ripping this man hair off? They gonna ask him, yo, dude, is you just gonna eat the swine? These motherfucking devils was killing us just because we didn't want to eat swine. That is just crazy. Just because we don't want to eat swine, that's how you know it was a spirit on these other nations the Lord put on them to make us try to eat swine. Some of us didn't, and some of us did. Coon ass niggas. And look through the spirit now. A lot of our family members, I was a coon. You want me to tell you how? I was eating that baked deliciousness. Bacon, pork chops. I even ate shit. I ate shitlins. I ate them too. So I could have been a coon. Because when I first got, man, bacon? Yeah, right. Bacon? What a little piggy did. Then I had to do research, and it was like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So when you understand, it's all about being obedient to YAHAWASHI. Fuck, excuse my language. Fuck what anybody outside the truth got to say. Now, if the shepherds, the men of the Lord, is telling you to put that shit down, you should be doing it. Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom, King. Yahweh Shemashai Bashem Kakwadash. Right? Yahweh Shemashai Barakathum. Right? So if the Lord urges you to teach, I don't care if it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, stop making excuses why you don't go out or why you don't do a video. Real men of the Lord, yes, they do sit downs, but the Lord called us to go to them highways and byways, right? You could be, I do it sometimes too, when I'm sitting on my porch or I'm at the corner of my street. Get your phone, get a tripod, and have it angled towards you and teach the word. You might teach the one. Somebody might come across and they keep looking at you. You be like, hey, do you know you an Israelite? Yo, let me tell you something. And then keep going on with your lesson. Give them some edification. Scare them a little with prophecies, right? Or you could just go in and censor them up, whatever you prefer. But men of the Lord, the real shepherds, is going to the highways and byways, right? And I'm going to get that, then we can close out. Right? Matthew 22, I believe verse 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. This is St. Matthew 22, and I'm going to start at 7. It says, but when the king heard thereof, he was wroth and sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Highways, you're going to a main street. Byways, you might go off to a side or off street, or to the hedge, like going to a park, going in like the wilderness or something, right? It says, so those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. Sometimes you might go out and nobody's even listening, but you got your phone to record, and somebody on that phone could be listening. Later on, they might ask a question, or they're watching all your videos, and they might put a comment. Oh, hey, I want to know about this question. Guess what? The Lord got sheep. If you got people always watching your videos, sometimes you might not see them out in the world because Jake is super lost. This is our last captivity, and we got to go out with a bang. So you best believe Jake is sleep. Going to the highways and byways is the first mission. Doing sit downs is another first mission, right? Praying to the Lord, getting in that fasting, reading and doing it all over again. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been reading 1 chapter, 2 chapters, and I usually try to do 5 chapters. It's just as soon as I grab the Bible or I watch a video, motivation comes and I'm ready to do a lesson. All I need is 1 precept and I can go. And this was not inspired by my precepts. I watched that brother video and I took 1 precept that was in the comment section, and it was St. John chapter 10, verse 2. You only see the top one, that's for something else. That's dealing with a different lesson. But I only wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I only wrote 4 precepts. And we brought out way more than that. Right? Because the inspiration is there. And this is what shepherds do. Anything to feed the flock, man. I really wanted this video to go 20, 30 minutes. But sometimes you just pull it a little further, because I know this brother was really getting in. He was getting in there. So I don't want to step on toes and bring out the same verses, right?
To deal with all those kinds of sheep, right? More erratic sheep, more reasonable and logical sheep, more, you gotta be able to deal with all kinds of sheep, right? Mm-hmm. So let's get this first scripture. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 23. I know I was rambling, forgive me. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. So once again, the majority of Jake grew up in cities. Cities and towns. They don't know nothing about a flock. They don't even know what the state of a flock. They don't even know what a flock means. Right? Thanks to National Geographic. Thanks to the History Channel. Thanks to the History Channel and things like that. We have an idea. Knowing you got to be diligent to know the state of your flock. And why is that? Why you have to be diligent? Why you have to be diligent? Because if you're a shepherd, right? And you have 100 sheep. You have to be able to manage and know those 100 sheep. Because that sheep was for your clothing. Their wool was for your clothing and your bedding, right? That sheep was for food. and he used the goat's milk or sheep milk, right? Preferably goat's milk, right? So the sheep was for your life. Now,
for anybody in the back saying we wasn't drinking animal milk, we was drinking goat milk. People say, oh, we wasn't drinking no damn milk. You was drinking milk. I bet you if Esau wasn't ruling and cows goats wasn't around, you was probably gonna eat some cow milk. And guess what? They damn near most likely eat the same thing as a goat. You was doing it. Just because as soon as Esau touched something, he do something extra with it. But it's natural. People say, why you don't why we don't just drink the pregnancy milk from a woman? Because that was just made for a newborn baby. That was just for babies. Because you got to think, you got a whole household. Say if your niece come over, you open up the fridge, she's gonna drink your wife titty milk. No, that don't make sense. But it makes sense that you eating milk from an animal that you're gonna eat or an animal you're gonna kill. Even when he says a land filled with milk and honey, even if that wasn't talking about literal, if he was using that, what milk you think he was getting? Almond milk, which you can make, but it was normal to get goat milk. It was normal to get milk from an animal. I just had to say that on the bar. But this brother's video is very, very edifying. I'm not here to play his whole video. I watched it. You can just go to GMS Rebuke the Temper 2. And the title of the video is Don't Forget You're a Shepherd Like YAHAWASHI. And that's what he was teaching in this video. And to me, it was edifying. So Lord willing, this was edifying to you. I love y'all to the moon and never back. Death to America and death to Esau. Not on my time, not on your time, not on their time, but on YAHAWASHI's time. Right? It's your brother Don Gabar. I teach with the brothers from 716 Israelites. Right? And we teach the word day in and day out. And double honors to where honor is supposed to be towards, to the apostles and the elders, of course, to apostle elder Tahar on down that been ruling well, teaching his word and believing in his word, and for the men underneath them that's teaching his word and believing in his word, and for the hopeful elect, regardless if you're an elder, a captain, a soldier, a deacon, a bishop, in congregations and out congregations, you teaching his word and believing in his word. Lord willing, the Most High increase you in his knowledge that you can endure to the end, and Lord willing, he can increase you in the knowledge that we can be on one accord someday, not on our time, but his time. And for the wives and the sisters that's believing in this word, Lord willing, he can continue to increase you as a woman to play your role, believing in this word. And for the other brothers and sisters that's not in the ministry, Lord willing, the Most High have mercy upon you so you can believe this word and teach this word if it is Lord's will. Till next time, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, Yahweh being the Most High God, and Yahawashi is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Shalom.